Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV. The main talking points on tonight's programme: it's 24 hours of highs and lows for Celtic. The team produced a stirring 3-3 draw with Manchester City in the Champions League, and the club picks up a €10,000 fine for the fans' display of Palestine flags in the match against Hapoel Beersheva. In other news, we will look ahead to the weekend's Premier League. We'll hear from Gordon Strachan. And could Kelly run out of money if Michael Johnson digs his heels in and remains at Rugby Park on the board? Just a few of the talking points we will discuss on tonight's programme. Ruffy, we're here, we're back in the studio. Last night was quite simply a lesson for all of us in predicting that Celtic cannot produce yet another stunning performance.
Yes, well, let's put it on the record right away. Some of us said a draw was possible, possibly not one each, but it was 3 each. It ticked all the boxes for me. I thought the atmosphere in the stadium was second to none. I thought the way that Celtic set their stall out, particularly Brendan Rodgers, we said we wanted to get the men about the Man City side. They certainly did that. Ran out of steam a wee bit in the end, but as far as goals are concerned, the excitement on the night, it had everything, and you could see why the fans were absolutely delirious at the end.
Yep, 6 goals, a thriller. Here's what the Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers made of it.
Yeah, I thought the performance of the team was absolutely outstanding. At this level, to perform like that was, as I said, the players deserve a great amount of credit, but to play against a team like Manchester City and perform like that, it was incredible performance.
Yep, and as you can see, even the camera person was excited there, Ruffy. It was bouncing up and down, but they eventually steadied themselves, I can assure you. Yep, and of course, the Celtic manager had to comment on the atmosphere.
Noise I've never heard before since I've been up here. Some of the big games that we've had here, I've played around the world, for teams and with teams, and great atmospheres. But the sheer passion and, I was a Celtic supporter, so I understand how passionate they are here. But when you come to here, you actually recognise and realise how many players throughout the world that play for various teams talk about the atmosphere here. And I think that you can see that combination of the support and the team when they play to that level. It is very, very difficult for even a team of Manchester City's quality. So it is one of the, you can actually say, when you have the Celtic support behind you, it really is like a 12th man. And tonight, the atmosphere was electric. It was an incredible evening for us. And as I said, they really helped us to produce the performance that we did.
We talked about the 12th man and whether it makes a difference. At times, professional players can block it out, but so many people mentioned it last night. I mean, the noise level inside that ground was spectacular, obviously helped by the fact that Celtic got off to a blistering start.
Yeah, you're right. That's the kind of start you wanted. It just lit up the whole stadium, and you could see the players believing that they could get something out of the game. I think it must have been very difficult for any shouts to your colleagues. With the noise that was in the stadium, that would have been a minus part of it. But certainly, when the goals went in, the whole place just lit up, and I thought it was just a tremendous 90 minutes from start to finish.
Yeah, talking about noise, here's Craig Gordon's take on it.
It was brilliant. Definitely the loudest game I've ever played in. I was screaming as loud as I could to the centre half. They're 10 yards away from me. They couldn't hear what I was saying. It was just an incredible atmosphere.
And just a bit about the performance. I mean, you were more than a match for City, weren't you?
I thought we'd done well. We set out to press the game and play attacking football and play our own game and try and impose that as much as we could. We knew they'd have spells of play and they've got great quality. They're going to create chances. But I thought we matched them pretty well, and it's probably a fair result.
What did you make of Craig Gordon's performance? I mean, sometimes I think we spend a bit of time watching Brendan Rodgers on the touchline with regards to his distribution. I was talking to Gordon Strachan today, and when teams close you like that, sometimes the other option is if you can play that long Dembele flicks it on, and suddenly Celtic are on the attack, which is how they got their first goal.
Yeah, I think I have to hold my hands up and say the game has moved on. There's no doubt about it. Distribution is a big part of a goalkeeper now, and it has put extra pressure on Craig Gordon because everybody is focused on every ball he kicks now, not just the saves that he makes. But certainly, you know, I'm still not going to be shifted on. Would you rather have a goalkeeper who has good distribution or a goalkeeper who is able to make a world-class save in the last 2 minutes of a game, which wins you a point or possibly 3 points in other games? And for me, it's all about saving the ball, hitting the back of the net, and that's what Craig Gordon did the other night. And I have to say that he had been put under pressure by being dropped so quickly. So all credit to him for coming back. I know he looked a wee bit nervous in some parts of the game, but you have to appreciate that footballers are human. When you're dropped, you've got to come back and prove to everybody that you are the goalkeeper you were, and I think that's what he did last night. Now I'm sure he'll grow in confidence in that game.
Before we talk about Dembele and obviously hear from him as well, two other players I think deserve special mention. Scott Brown, I thought he was immense, and also I thought Kolo Toure's reading of the game was superb.
Yeah, I think both of them had to be on top of their game. I think Scott Brown did what Scott Brown's good at, just chased about, harried, made their big players not get a kick of the ball, and you could see in the last 10 minutes of the game he just ran out of gas, and all credit to him. You know, he was the inspiration for the rest of his teammates. When you see somebody like that in a game prepared to put themselves through, you know, that kind of game, everybody lifts their game round about them. You're right with Toure, he just read every split pass that was put through. He was there to cover for everybody.
Yep, and of course the hero had to be Moussa Dembele. He's been shortlisted for the I think UEFA's 2016 Golden Boy Award. He certainly was a golden boy last night.
You know, as a striker, you know, you always want to score goals, and today I've scored two, and it's good for the team and good for the club, and I'm happy for it.
Is that the type of night you had in mind when you signed for Celtic?
Yeah, of course, you know, when you sign for Celtic, you know that this club deserves to and belongs to the Champions League, and nights like this, you know, the fans showed us great support, and we're happy to get a result today.
Yep, he took his goals well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he certainly did, and all at the right time as well. The second one in particular was absolutely fantastic. All credit to him. I heard Brendan Rodgers doing an interview saying that the boy had a chance to go to bigger clubs and possibly not get a game, but he's decided to go to Celtic so young in the game and learn the game, and you have to say every game he plays now he's getting better and better.
Yeah, one of the things that I did get from the press conference, Ruffy, the amount of English journalists who quite simply highlighted to Pep Guardiola the fact that no other club has pressed them the way Celtic did this season. Mm-hmm. They were going for 11 straight victories, they couldn't get it. This was the Manchester City boss's take on the game.
Will be maybe a good lesson for our future. How important it is to start well, but at the end, in the second half, except the first 15 minutes, the same in the first half, we play good. We create many chances. I don't remember. So they score 3 goals, but they don't have many another chances, and we create enough to win the game. But it's what it is. So we knew that. So when the fourth team in the pot is the Celtic de Glasgow, you immediately realize how tough it will be to qualify to go through to 80 finals. So that is going to happen for until the last game in Celtic de Glasgow at home. But talking or thinking about the performance, the guys, how they fight, it doesn't matter the mistakes, how they until the end try to win the game. I'm so satisfied.
Yep, so happy to get the point. Let's be realistic, Barcelona, Man City will be battling it out for first and second. I reckon 4 points could be enough for Celtic to get third position, possibly Europa League beyond Christmas and into the new year. Do you buy into that?
Yeah, I have bought into it quite a lot. I thought the points that Celtic would have to take would be against Borussia Mönchengladbach, but I've got a point here. They also have Man City having Barcelona twice, you know, which, and let's be realistic, they might not take any of these 2 games with Barcelona. You want them to run away with it, and then it's up to Celtic to produce the goods at home and in the next game and possibly pick something up away. So it's from it being a group where you would go no chance whatsoever, there's hope at the end of the day for Celtic.
Yep, absolutely. Let's have a look at the results over the Wednesday night in the Champions League. Of course, Arsenal, Theo Walcott on fire for them there, getting the goals. And elsewhere, Barcelona with that 2-1 win against the Germans. And as you say, Ruffy, it means that if Celtic can indeed get a win at home, I don't think necessarily they need to get anything away. You know, I'm looking at Manchester City and Barcelona desperately trying to finish first. It's so important to do that.
Yeah, well, you're hoping Man City and Barcelona will take full points against Borussia, and then it's up to Celtic to do what they can. But in last night's performance, I'm sure they'll go into the next home game with a lot of confidence.
Okay, coming up in the next part of the programme, we'll hear from Gordon Strachan on that 28-man squad he's picked. And a little teaser for you. How many goals has Moussa Dembele scored for Celtic since he arrived in the summer? Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Alan Ruff's alongside me, Peter Martin. Let's look at disciplinary measures now. Celtic picked up a €10,000 fine for their display of Palestine flags. Now, we've already highlighted on this programme, Ruffy, it's not for us to discuss the merits, just or otherwise, on Celtic fans' support for Palestine. It's the fact that it's a rule that's been broken. They've breached a rule and the club suffers from it.
Yeah, and you have to say, how long is it going to be before the penny drops that the money that the club had been fined could be used in other ways, and you would like to think that they would grasp that sooner rather than later, because as we know, UEFA come very hard on things like that, and it could be just adding up as we go along, all these different fines, and at the end of the day, it'll be the supporters that are going to be punished, you know, because if they shut a part of the stand, then these are the guys that are going to miss the football, and at the end of the day, that's what you want to be doing.
Yep, and talking of punishment, the judicial panel has told the SFA the complaint against Hibs and Rangers irrelevant and should be dismissed. This is, of course, for responsibility for behaviour of fans at the Scottish Cup final. Now, of course, a lot of the clubs have voted not to have direct responsibility for the conduct of their fans. So this probably adds to the fact that both clubs won't face any penalty.
Yeah, and again, it's the clubs. We keep talking about rules and regulations throughout the season, and again, it's the clubs have decided that this is the rules. So, I mean, the SFA have to apply these rules that are in order, so they just have to get on with it unless they change it.
Yep. Just yesterday, Mark Warburton was offered a one-match ban for some foul and abusive language towards the referee after obviously a passionate game up at Pittodrie, Aberdeen winning it by 2-1. I don't think he's going to appeal it. He said he won't appeal it. He's going to take the penalty.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think if it is if he is charged and he is guilty, then take it and move on, because if you don't take it and appeal, it just drags on and drags on. So no, I think that's a good decision by the Rangers manager.
Okay, Rangers against Partick Thistle. Danny Wilson has mentioned that Rangers are not going to change the way they play. They're going to continue that style. And Mark Warburton has mentioned that for all their possession, they now need to turn that into, you know, the end product, getting the goals, getting the win, with all the domination that they may have in games.
Yeah, I think the worry would be if Rangers weren't creating chances, but they are creating chances, and the Rangers support will know that. In the last 2 games that they've played, they've had so many shots at target, a lot of them not on target, but it just means that in one of these days something is going to click and it is going to hit the back of the net and somebody's going to suffer.
Yep, there are some positives. Josh Windass back and available for selection. And over and above that, Ruffy, great news for Barry Mackay and Lee Wallace included in Gordon Strachan's squad.
Yeah, it's not only good when that happens for the individuals, it's good for the club itself. It's good to have a couple of people hanging about the dressing room who are going to be taking part in a Scotland squad. Hopefully it's a Scotland win or 2 wins, and they'll get a lot of confidence from that. And the Rangers are the team that's going to benefit.
Yep, absolutely. Let's hear from the Scotland manager. First of all, on the recall of Sean Maloney.
Sean's back in again. Sean's been used as a substitute quite a lot with Hull. Played a game last week against Stoke, terrific game. And so he's back in again. Again, professionalism, ability, intellect, willingness to play for Scotland. So he's got all these traits that we want along here again. And we've still got some of our younger lads in the squad as well. And as I said before, if they're good enough, we'll stick them in. We'll bypass under-19s, under-21s if they're good enough, which we did with Ollie.
Yep, now Gordon Strachan again mentioning characteristics that he's looking for players who are going to be involved in his squad. I wanted to hear that one first. That will lead us nicely into the major boost for the likes of Lee Wallace.
Yep, I think we're now beginning, well, I think Gordon is now beginning to get a settled 11. He keeps going on about having a club environment. I think when you see the team that he's putting out, I think we could all possibly pick 9 out of the 11 that's going to be a starting. I think Sean Maloney will be a part of that, but for me, I think Snodgrass and Forrest are the two people at this moment in time, I think, who just set Scotland alight. And I hope Gordon, actually, I'm sure he would have seen that game last night. I've always said sometimes you have to change the way you play. I liked the way Celtic set their stall out last night. I liked the aggression. I liked the shutting down. I liked the passion it was going about. And I just like to think we could get back to that at Hampden. I think this is an ideal opportunity against Lithuania. I think that there is no easy games anymore. There's not like any 3 and 4 nothings. I would like to think we've got that in us. I think we've got players to just go out and get about them right away and score early and dominate the game.
Yep, I wonder if Lee Wallace has a part to play. I thought maybe pulling out of the last squad was going to be a problem for him, but I'm delighted to say, I think he's an ideal captain. He conducts himself impeccably. I've got a lot of time for him, and Gordon Strachan clearly likes the qualities that he displayed.
We've got to look at the two games and what we want to try and do. And I think the partnership between him and Barry over the last 18 months has been terrific, and cementing it by doing the same thing in the Premier League. I think their partnership has been excellent. And being with him the last squad, I knew he was a right good kid, but he was good about the place even though he was injured, And then he came up, he gave up a time with his family to be there. I like that. So back in again.
Yep, let's have a look at that Scotland squad then, Ruffy. 28-man squad, and I think Gordon was keen to point out that Lithuania is not a must-win. Lithuania and Slovakia, I still think we've got to be looking for, what are we looking at? Minimum 4?
No, I maybe must-win is too strong. Let's put it, we have to win. I think we need to take 3 points. We need to set a target for everybody else rather than us chasing everybody. And right down to that last game, we were looking for a playoff. I think we're good enough to get, as you say, 4 points. 4 points would be fantastic going into the England game.
Yep, absolutely. OK, from Scotland, let's go back to domestic matters. We've got a full weekend of football ahead. One rather disturbing story that, again, has emerged, and it goes back to what we were talking about a few weeks ago about clubs possibly on the verge of administration. And I think we mentioned that someone had said that it was rather worrying that one club could be on the verge of it. It still looks as if Kilmarnock are on a shaky peg. I'm not for a minute suggesting they're on the verge of administration, but one of the board members in the Supporters Trust has said that if Michael Johnson continues to dig in, it will obviously rule out people who want to invest in the club, and they have an unsustainable business plan with guys like Billy Bowie and others bailing the club out.
Yeah, well, obviously there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I think the main objective is to get Michael Johnson out of there. Obviously there'll be a lot of tactical things going on, financial things going on, and maybe that might be just the tipping of the everything. If they were to go into administration, because obviously Michael Johnson is going to lose money of the money that he's been offered, so I don't think it'll be as much as 1.9 million, so he might have to then come to a decision. Do I take, what's on the table, or do I take maybe half of that? So I think it's all going on behind at Rugby Park just now, and I think the sooner it's sorted out, the better.
Yep, absolutely. OK, tomorrow night it's Motherwell against Hearts. Motherwell manager Mark McGee has mentioned that anybody who finishes above Hearts will be in the top 3. Is that fair comment?
Yeah, I think Hearts are the same as Rangers, knocking at the door every week, hitting the bar, hitting the post, hitting everywhere but the back of the net. I think they're on the verge of giving somebody a bit of hiding as well, so I think Motherwell will have to be on their toes tomorrow night.
Yep, Robbie Nielsen's come out and he's been very complimentary about his keeper Jack Hamilton. He reckons he's a future Scotland #1.
Yeah, he's another young boy who's been thrown in there. He's in the Scotland squad, because just going away with the Scotland squad will make him a better player, and when he goes back to Hearts, Hearts will get the benefit of it.
Who's going to win that one, Motherwell or Hearts? It's at Fir Park, Ruffy.
Yeah, I think Hearts are just on the verge. I think they could just win it by the odd goal.
Is that right? OK, I'm going to go for a draw, just basically because of the safety net that you delivered last night. You're gloating on the fact that you were suggesting it was going to be a draw between Celtic and Man City.
Yeah, I think it was more hope than anything, but certainly when I saw Celtic in the first 10-15 minutes, I did believe that they could get something out of the game. They were fortunate, obviously, in the last 10-15 minutes. I think Man City showed a bit of class then, but not a champion, a European Champions winner. Not Man City.
No.
Not in that performance.
No, okay.
No way.
Oh, there we are. Okay, just before we finish, Ruffy, you know, we love our football. We love seeing football documentaries. I must give a mention to Margot McCaig and the great work she's done on putting together the Jimmy Johnston documentary. I think it's going out tomorrow night on BBC Alba. Subtitles are on, so that's good news for me and you. But it's an in-depth look at, you know, the family, the whole relationship with Jimmy Johnston. You know, we all know about the football, but I think it's a brilliant documentary on the wee man.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be at the Jim Baxter one, and if it's anything like that, it'll be very emotional for everybody at the family. You know, I think we all know what he did, the football side of it, but two great documentaries, and you must watch for me.
Yep, absolutely. Get on that if you can. But do join us tomorrow. It's our extended programme on Peter and Ruffy's Friday football show. We'll be looking ahead to all the fixtures over the weekend, north and south of the border. Join us if you can. Good night.